This is NTV People's Parliament, and we are coming to you from Bugiri District. We are going to delve into the conversation, and we are talking matters education. Now, why are we talking about education in Bugiri District? I'm just going to relate back to 2025, where Bugiri registered a total of 9,166 candidates, and this is for PLE, and out of these, only 110 passed in the first grade. However, come 4th 2025, we had other results that came through, and this time we want to understand what is Bugiri as a district, what is Bugiri as a district doing to ensure that the progress of the education sector continues to flourish and the children of Bugiri get the education that they need. How are parents supporting their children when it comes to matters education? Yes, we have youth. Yes, we have government-aided education, but how are parents being supportive to ensure that their children get this information firsthand? At this particular moment, I would like to have the Inspector of Schools to first come and give us a general overview of the education system here in Bugiri, and later we shall have students themselves, we shall have teachers, we shall have head teachers, but we shall have parents, because nurturing and teaching starts from home. So we'd like to hear how are we working together as different stakeholders to ensure that we raise the next generation of very educated, successful, and brilliant children. Honorable Member, please come and take the floor of the August House.
Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, as a department, we have a vision that guides us while executing our duties. And our vision is a well-educated, skilled, morally upright population that contributes to sustainable socio-economic development. And then we also have a mission which states to provide, support, coordinate equitable, inclusive, and quality education and sports services through effective policy implementation, supervision, and community engagement for holistic development. Those two guides us while we're executing our duties as education department. Madam Speaker, allow me present that as a department, we have 140 government primary schools. We have 10 secondary schools. We have 360 private primary schools. We have 30 private secondary schools. We have 2 tertiary institutions in our district. And then we also, Madam Speaker, allow me present this. We have an enrollment of 95,588 learners in primary. We have 14,460 learners in secondary. And then also, Madam Speaker, we have, now I would like to embark on the staffing levels in the district, because as a department, we have a human resource that is providing education services to our community. We have 1,305 primary teachers in the district. We have 236 teachers in secondary. We have 1 at tertiary in the tertiary institution, whereby we only have a principal who is on the government payroll in that tertiary institution. We have 8 officers at the department who are steering the day-to-day management of the education services in the district. Madam Speaker, we have had a number of success stories in the department. I would like now to draw your attention to the performance in the recently concluded PLE. We had, Madam Speaker, we had 198 learners that passed in Division 1. That gives us a percentage of 3%. And when we try to tabulate in gender form, we realize that 56 of the 198 learners were male and 44 were female. Division 2, we had 2,964 learners passing in second division, giving us a percentage of 41.1. When you try to tabulate in gender form, you realize that 49.4 out of the 2,964 were male and 50.6 were female in Division 2. Division 3, we had a total of 1,964 learners passing in Division 3, giving us a percentage of 27.2%. When we try to tabulate in gender form, you realize that 46 of those that passed in Division 3 were male and 54 were female. Division 4, we had 1,107 learners passing in Division 4, giving us a percentage of 15.3%. In gender form, you realize that 42 learners that passed in Division 4 were male and 58 were female. Madam Speaker, allow me also to present this, which is to our dissatisfaction as a department.
Yes, we'll wind up with that.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for, you know, this is a big department with a number of activities. Madam Speaker, I beg that you add us a few minutes to wind up.
I'll give you an extra 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We had 914 learners, those that were ungraded. And this gives us a percentage of 12.6%. And when you try to put it in gender form, you find that 46 learners out of the 914 were male, and 54% were female. Those that were not were ungraded. Those that cannot proceed to the next level, in the academic pathway. Madam Speaker, also we had learners that were absent. That we need to address this collectively, because it's a collective responsibility to all of us. We had a number of learners who were absent. 60 of them were absent, did not turn up for their PLE exercise. This gives us a percentage of 0.8%, and it gives us 35% of whom were male and 65% were female. What does this mean? It means that we have a challenge, that most of our girl child are dropping out of school. They are not completing the primary cycle. So we have a challenge to address collectively to see that we can be able to see that our girl child are in school and are completing school. Madam Speaker, we have embarked on a number of projects in the department as a district. We've been able to have a number of projects that have been successful. In the budget of 2024-2025, we have had a classroom block constructed at Nakwa Primary School, Isaka Primary School, Naigoma Primary School. We have had a latrine construction in St. Jude Namayemba Primary School, Wulugi Primary School, Luanika Primary School, Chiwandanga Primary School. We have Bugiri Primary School. We have constructed a classroom block, an office, water tank, to cater for hygiene and sanitation in that school. We have been able to provide a number of school furniture in schools, totaling to a tune of 1,200 furniture that have been supplied to a number of schools in the district. We have gone ahead to fence most of our schools in the secondary schools. We fenced Naminyago Muslim Secondary School, Nabukal Secondary School, Narubale SS, Inginia Kauliza, Budaya City Secondary School, Buunga Secondary School. We have also gone ahead to construct a classroom. We have also done renovations in schools. Some schools have been dilapidated, Madam Speaker. We have gone ahead to carry out renovations in certain schools. I would like to mention a few of them.
A round of applause for the Honorable Member for being the first to put up her hand in the August House. Honorable Member, please give your submission.
Thank you. Poverty at home affects many UPE children. Although education is free, parents fail to provide uniforms, food, and scholastic materials, which makes learning difficult, alleging that the government is paying for everything. When parents are told to provide uniforms, food and pens, books, they say that the government is paying for everything. Therefore, hunger makes it difficult for children to concentrate in classes. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. And I would like to ask the headmistresses, the head teachers, thank you so much, Honorable Member. You can take your seat. As you come here before the later, I want you to help us understand how much does the government invest in the government schools, and what should parents provide? Because if parents are ignorant of what they should provide, then we shall continue to have these questions. Honorable Member, good afternoon. Please give your submission.
Thank you, moderator, for this chance. My name is Happy Genta. I am in primary 7 class at Namagonjo Primary School. Menstrual hygiene is another serious challenge affecting girls. Many girls from poor families struggle to stay in school during their menstrual periods because they lack access to sanitary pads and proper facilities, which forces them to use unsafe materials like old clothes, which cause discomfort and infections. So, this causes them to miss school during their periods. And many schools have poor sanitation facilities like few latrines without doors, safe places for girls or private places for girls for changing their pads while at school. Thank you.
You look at the sexual health and reproductive health of children in schools. Is it being paid attention to? Honorable Member, thank you for being part of this August House today.
Thank you, Mrs. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Graham Samuel from...
Can I have order? Can I please have order?
I am Graham Samuel from Namagonjo Primary School. I am in primary 7 class. Let me also talk about overcrowded classrooms. Many pupils are enrolled, but the classrooms are few. So, this makes it hard for the teacher to give individual attention to learners. And many learners are left behind. So, it's like here, the teacher is in front. And then when he says that, have you understand? And all the people says that, yes, we have understand, leaving many pupils behind. And another problem is shortage of qualified teachers. Some schools have too few teachers, where one teacher handles many learners and multiple classes. And the government says that the teacher-learner ratio is 53. Like at our school, we only have 12 qualified teachers over 1,100 learners. So this leaves the teachers more frustrated and tired. That forces the head teacher to recruit unqualified teachers in order to give a supporting hand. Thank you.
It's very unfortunate that this is happening, but not only in Bugiri, but it happens across the country. So we are having this discussion today not to expose Bugiri, not to say that Bugiri is not doing what it's meant to do, but also to bring it to the attention of the Ministry of Education that as they deploy, as they continue to bring. I'll only have these two students now, and then head teachers and parents and teachers, the students are giving you a ride for your money. That they want the service, they want education to be uplifted in Bugiri. So after these 3 students only, I'm going to open the floor to the teachers and the headmistresses. I'll give you priority in the next one. So we are here to put a voice together. Please, Honorable Member, please give your submission. Paul?
My name is Namrugomasit Ashula, a pupil of primary 7 from Namagonja Primary School. Let me talk about long distance to school. However much the government has tried to build school, but some children walk long distance to reach school, making them tired or causing absenteeism. This makes children arrive at school late and teachers punish them. It can also lead to poor performance when children miss some lessons. Thank you.
Thank you, Thank you, moderator, for the opportunity given to me. My name is Kaguya Dorin Mirembe. I am in primary 7 at Namagonjo Primary School. Furthermore, there is limited parental involvement. Some parents do not follow up on their children's education, thinking that since it is free, their work is no longer important. There is also language barriers. Some children struggle when the language used at school is not like the one they speak at home. For example, at school and in classes, the official language used is English, which challenges those who don't know English and they only know their mother tongue. Thank you.
My name is Shirabo Ingrid. I am in primary 6 class at Namagonjo Primary School. Let me also talk about the reference books or textbooks which don't match with the current curriculum, which is leading to poor performance in government schools. Some government teachers don't do research relying on the textbooks provided by the government, yet they don't match with the current curriculum. Another challenge is absenteeism and school dropout, which is caused by child labor. When I talk about child labor, I mean this is where children are forced to do work instead of going to school. Early marriages. This is where a young child is told to marry an old person.
Honorable member, early marriage, even though it doesn't concern marrying an older person, but we shall clarify on that. Please give your submission.
Family responsibilities.
All the people in this house, please you keep quiet.
Family responsibilities. These are the duties and roles that family members have to care for and support one another. But then, sometimes they can affect the children's education. Like, they leave children at home and go to do others and tell them to go in the garden and dig.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. And there you have had it. The students of Bugiri, the children of Bugiri, these are a few representing the many out there. They're representing their other colleagues who have not been able to come into the house. We are in Bugiri District, and we are talking matters education. What is hindering the children of Bugiri to progress like the way they should? They've mentioned a number of issues. These are ranging from sexual reproductive health rights, mental health. These are ranging from scholastic materials. They're talking about parents providing for the children. We are talking about sanitation facilities. We are talking about safe places. Parents, stakeholders, teachers, administrators, we are all here in the building today, and we are going to find a way forward together. This will help the next generation that will be raised here in Bugiri. Thank you for being part of NTV People's Parliament. We are taking a very short break. When we return, we come back with parents and also school heads. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching NTV People's Parliament. We are in Bugiri District, and at this particular moment, we've been discussing matters education. The students have said it all. They have expressed a number of concerns that probably are hindering them from succeeding. They have mentioned a few things here and there, but this is not a single man's battle. This needs systems that are clearly indicated so that we can all achieve the intended purpose. We need stakeholders, we need teachers, we need headmistresses, we need inspectors of schools, but we also need parents to be at the forefront of this because education starts from home. Very importantly, they have not talked about early childhood development, but they've expressed that some children cannot express themselves in English. So how is the education system here? They've talked about the ratio of students to teachers. So at this particular moment, I would like to have some parents, school heads, and teachers. I had a hand up outside. Please, Honorable Member, come. After him, I had another hand there, and I have another hand there. And from that, we shall continue. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation. We have an Honorable Member coming through.
Honorable Speaker and the August House, my name is Uganda Richard. I teach in St. Stephen's Secondary School, Bugiri. When the District Inspector of Schools was presenting, there was the element where he gave a percentage of the ungraded as the 12.6% in the total, while the males were 46%, and the females were 54%.
Yeah.
Then the absentees, 0.8% as total, and 35% was the females, rather males, and the females were 65%. Given the fact that we have now sugarcane growing on the increase, these percentages are going to change. The boys are going to end up cutting the sugar canes, and the number of absentees is likely to increase, especially for the boys. And then the girls will lower. Now, where you have a big number of boys out of school, and then girls are in schools, it is not very good, because girls are very vulnerable compared to the boys. The children also talked about the teacher-learner ratio. Indeed, it is a very big challenge. For example, at St. Stephen's, where I work, we have a very big number that even in class, you cannot articulate, you cannot teach ably because of the big numbers. We are looking at the competence-based curriculum. It is not well funded. Many stakeholders don't understand it. When they look at report cards, when they look at the assessment, they cannot perceive. They don't know this grading, incidentally, including some of the teachers. What does it take? There should be continuous sensitization of all those stakeholders. There is need for cost sharing, because now, in this competence curriculum, we are talking about research. So research should be enhanced. If the children are supposed to have phones to research, they cannot be able to get these phones on their own. Equally, government may not be able to give or to provide these phones more so in time. So there is need for cost sharing. And then these phones should be controlled by the schools. Come with a phone at school, leave it there, the following day you find it at school.
Okay, as we wind up, Honorable Member, just wind up in 1 minute.
Thank you. Like I said, this competence curriculum is new, and it is still new. So there is need for sensitization continuously, so that we can be able to understand, to perceive it, and we move on. Then this curriculum requires some budget. For example, we have projects we are handling. Somewhere, somehow, there is need. Assuming you are making a table, you are making a cardboard, and it requires nails, governments may not be able to give these facilitation in time. So that's why there may be need for the parents and other stakeholders to come in and fund. They even talked about shortage of scholastic materials. These children are supposed to have textbooks. They're supposed to have computers. They're supposed to have phones. They're supposed to have other materials to use. But one body, for example, the government may not be able to handle that. We need labs, computer labs, chemistry labs, science, physics labs. We need even geography rooms. Incidentally, we don't have enough of them. Equally, classrooms, as we even had learners talking about them. Thank you so much. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. The Inspector of Schools or any representative in the House, when you come to take to the floor, Honorable Member, please come. When you come to take off the floor, you tell us what programs are there and how often are teachers trained on the new competence-based curriculum.
My name is Patrick Bugiri. I am a head teacher of Naigaga Primary School, and I'm an interpreter for the deaf. Madam, I want to thank the DIS for the report that he read. But among the learners he read, we have children with disabilities.
Yeah.
They have special learning needs that require specialized devices. For example, we have children with low vision, like in Naigaga, where I teach, I have a child with low vision. But we just teach ordinarily. But there are specialized materials that can be used in the teaching of such children. So we have children in most schools who are deaf. We have children who are blind or low vision or they have sight problems. We have children who have difficulties in movement. Their legs are disabled. Sometimes there's a child in Kimbali has no arms.
No limbs.
We are visiting to find levels of training that girl to use the foot. And we also have the albinos. We have children living with the HIV/AIDS. They were born with the HIV/AIDS. These children in class cannot concentrate unless more sensitization and mobilization is done. Leaving that point apart, there's a very big challenge as far as communication is concerned. The other day they arrested a deaf man. Yeah. A neighbor just forged that the deaf youth was trying to rape. And that youth was kept in prison for a full month. Not until we tussled out to help this boy come out of prison. So there's a very big challenge as far as communication for the deaf. They have their local signs that they use, but sometimes they find it very hard to pass the information. I want to encourage, to request the district to give hand in mobilization, sensitization. Let's sensitize our teachers. These activities used to be, but they are no longer there. Teachers are just teaching, and yet these children need thorough teaching. We need to teach teachers outside this way. They go back and help these children learn in the right way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I remain Patrick Wire.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member, good evening and thank you for being part of this conversation.
Good evening, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the people of Bugiri, this is Ruta Ibrahim. I represent the people of Nankoma Sub-County, and I sit on the Committee of Social Service where education falls. So, with the Bugiri, we have all what we need to do the best, but sometimes we are limited. More so, via the Education Department, we could do better than the report the DIS has presented, but the Minister of Education and the government should help us. One, via staffing. We have schools in Bugiri whereby we have 4 teachers at a primary school. There is a school there called Inson and many others. 4 teachers. So the Minister of Education and the government should help us to work on the issue of staffing. It is very urgent indeed. Secondly, the issue of staff quotas at schools. We have teachers who come from very far. You can find it that they can read late at school. Sometimes we blame them, but we reach at a point and sympathize with them because they travel a very long distance. So at our schools, we need staff quotas. Thirdly, we have the problem of feeding. Our learners stay on empty stomach. They become uncontrollable in schools. So this is two-way. Of recent, I read the newspapers whereby the minister was saying that it's going to take on the feeding program come 2026. So I beg, Honourable Speaker, I ask for one more minute.
1 minute to wind up.
I kindly ask the government to come up
and fast track this particular program.
Yeah, and give up a stand via feeding because our learners are not okay. And then the parents should get serious and be providing at least porridge to the learners so that they can study well. Under the Education Department, under the Social Service Committee, our schools lack water sources. The boreholes are not there. They feel thirsty. So there is also need for boreholes or water sources at schools. Then lastly, we also have a problem of the power, electricity in our different schools. So there is need for connection, at least in public facilities. The government should extend their electricity such that they can help our learners. Thank you, but I'd like to call upon all the NGOs that are viewing us tonight that they can come in Bugiri and help us to extend good services, such as construction of staff quarters, drilling of boreholes, and so on, to our various schools. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
I am Nabwire Josephine, head teacher of Bugiri Primary School. I want to thank the government of Uganda for providing free education to primary schools. But we have a challenge, Madam, as the inspector mentioned. We have a challenge of staffing. And we have come in as parents, as teachers. We have talked to the parents. We sit, we make minutes. Because of poor staffing, we employ some community teachers in our schools. But now here is a situation that the politicians are coming us and saying that we are not supposed to charge any money from the parents. So we want the government to help us, at least since we sit and agree with the parents to contribute something so that we can employ the community teachers. We want the government to accept and we co-fund. Madam, I want to talk about salary enhancement. It is unfortunate that the government is not bothering on the teachers' salary enhancement. The teachers are working day and night to see that education in Uganda is improving. But to our despise, we find that the teachers are not being helped, the teachers are not being given enough money, and yet they are supposed to stay at school from morning to evening. Then when we come to the side of accommodation, the teachers are moving longer distances. I remember there's a teacher who took poison and died because he was transferred from at least a shorter distance to a further distance. So we want the government to help us come in and help in constructing staff houses.
Thank you so much for being part of NTV People's Parliament. You've been quite a great audience, but at this particular moment, you're going to take a very short break. When we return, we shall delve back into the solutions. What can be done? What can we do to move forward? Yes, we have had all those different views, but we need to understand what can be done. For now, NTV People's Parliament is taking a very short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching NTV People's Parliament. We are still in Bugiri yet again, and we are discussing what can we do together as stakeholders to ensure that the education system is favoring the students, but also the teachers themselves are enabled and being supported fully to ensure that learners get access to education. Honorable Member, good evening. Thank you for being part of this conversation. You have 3 minutes, and that is your mic, that is your camera.
Those learners talked about the school dropout, early marriages. I would like to appreciate the government. They are at least partnering with some organizations which are helping some schools, like that side of Blessa. They brought some organizations which are imparting skills, life planning skills, like Pathfinder. When a child is still with the skills, if that child can set goals, have a problem-solving skill, have a decision-making skill, that child will not drop out of school. So how I wish these organizations reach every school, at least not choosing some schools. Let them go to those deeper schools. They instill these activities, these skills that they are given to certain schools, so that those learners remain in schools. For example, there is an organization called Ukobag. That organization came there and taught, I'm from Namagonjo Primary School. That organization came there and taught these girls and boys how to make reusable pads. And it is helping them. And it is one of the major things why these girls are dropping out of school. Why? When it comes to that menstrual period, these learners, because their parents can't afford to buy these sanitary pads, they end up dropping out of school, missing what? Schools.
Okay.
Let me summarize my point, please.
Just 30 seconds.
Thank you.
The house is full, and we need to move faster.
So I'm requesting the government and this organization, especially Pathfinder. That's why you saw those kids from Namagonjo. They are confident. I doubt whether those kids can drop out of school. At least they know why they are at school. They have goals. So please, hear my cry. And Madam Speaker, finally, those learners, however much we are criticizing that there are challenges, but there are some things that the government has done for us. So those learners have their good things that the government has done. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. And at this particular point, I would like to call on 2 role models, the people in Bugiri that have been able to excel through the education system. Please go back to your schools. Go back and talk with those children. Because tell them one day I was here and I'm a better person now. But we wear ties, we sit in our offices, we have very serious faces. Banange, mudeyo je mwasomera abana ombajukize tinamwe mwaveeyo nze manyi okuddayo ewaffe ndi mwana nzala y'ebudaka ndi mukyala mugwere nzirayokko mutuddeyoka ewaka. Speak to those children. Honorable Member.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
You're here to represent BRAC Uganda?
Yes.
And tell us what you're doing for those schools and what you aim to do. The children need support.
Good evening, Honorable Members.
Good evening.
My name is Rhoda Acham. I'm the branch manager for AIM program, Bugiri District. So I'm here to speak about BRAC, NGO. We have a program called AIM that is accelerating impact among women. And basically in this platform, I'm going to talk about education pathway. So I have good news for you, because I have had a lot of concerns when it comes to children. Dropout rates are high because maybe the parents are not able to provide maybe with food, like from school, scholastic materials. This program has been for 2 years so far, and what we did in the past 2 years is basically providing scholastic materials, that is books and bags. But this time around we have good news, because we have come up with a designed education pathway program that we are going to kickstart this year. So we have already sent our invitation letter to the district. So what we are going to do is we are going to support adolescent girls and young women in schools. We are going to support them with financial support, and we are also going to support some schools that are selected. We shall be training teachers on gender-responsive education, and we shall also be supporting some schools, like to improve maybe on the buildings and also the communicative messages in the compound. So we are going to do a lot on education to ensure that the children continue being in school. The retention rates should be high, and we are also going to encourage those that dropped out of school to continue being in school. And we are also going to work with the parents to ensure that we keep these children at school. Okay. So basically the financial support is going to be directed to the parents to ensure that they're able to support these kids with their needs that they need to maintain them at school.
There you go, Sustainable Development Goals 2030. Yes. BRAC is among those that are pushing for quality education and education for all. I see the 4 gentlemen, but allow me first have him. His hand has been up since we started. After, I'll come to you, sir. And then I'll come to you, sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you for being part of the conversation.
Good evening, Madam Speaker.
You're standing in the capacity of a father, head teacher, director.
For today, I'm the Honorable Member of Parliament for people of Butema Primary School.
Please.
The people of Bugiri, beautiful as they are, they don't love themselves. They hate themselves.
The people of Bugiri.
They hate Bugiri.
You've all kept quiet and you're agreeing you don't love yourselves. Hey.
The people of Bugiri don't love themselves. Madam Speaker.
Can I have some order, please?
The lot of money you hear being paid in Uganda. The parents are from Bugiri here. They are paying a lot of money there, paying 800, paying 1 million. But we told them, come and we pay 30. They will go to the RDs. The very parent who pays 1 million in Uganda, Musoga here, paying 30 here, it goes to the RDs. So the whole thing, Madam Speaker, will remain frustrated. But otherwise, we have the capacity, we have the fertile soils, our parents are farmers, they have the maize, they can feed. They don't need to wait for the government to come and pay some little food. We have the foods. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Sema Moses, and I'm the head teacher of Nankoma Primary School, a school which has a population of over 1,000. In fact, Madam Speaker, it's around 1,100. The only thing is that in our recruitment policy, we don't end recruiting in primary schools, especially government or aided schools. And I want to talk about the issue of absenteeism. About the issue of absenteeism, I want to appreciate the idea of government that it has brought on board the check gadgets that we are using to check on the teachers who have already come, who have attended school that particular day. But on the side of the learners, it's not there. And honestly, we don't have any check measures that are to be taken on the side of the what? Of the learners. You can imagine we have so many learners. In fact, if you moved from here up to Nankoma, you will get many school-going children, but there is no mechanism to have them in school. And at the end of the day, the stakeholders are waiting to demand for performance in a division what? 1. 2, I would, maybe before I go to 2, I would rather bring a suggestion that one day as head teachers from Bugiri District, we made a visit to Kabarole District together with the Fort Portal municipality. But what we got there was that the chairperson LC5, the cow, the RDC, they all knew the schools and information pertaining the education sector. And every time they could go over radios and make some kind of sensitization programs to the community. And by so doing, learners will always be at school. This way in Bugiri, if that one there is done, because we have a radio, I think it will help us to address that one there. The second point was about the issue of feeding. I will be very fast. I beg that you add me a minute, yes, and I complete it. Feeding, whenever it comes to lunchtime, I have about 10 learners waiting at my office for at least some lunch. An issue which is so tense. Many learners are not eating food at school, and therefore they drop out of school.
Our DEO gave us a clear picture that we registered 9,166 pupils, 7,000. And out of that, 110 passed in first grades, 198. Funny enough, the best performer did not come from a government school. He or she came from New York Primary School, right? With 5 aggregates. What does this sound? Does this create an image in your perspectives? When we look at the toilet student ratio in schools, it is worrying. According to the Ministry of Education and Sports, it is supposed to be 1 to 40. In this school, it is supposed to, one instance, it's supposed to be attended by 25 students. I don't know, head teachers, how does it appear in your schools? Also, let it also give you a picture. I just request all CBOs and organizations to come on board and give this information to the concerned citizens and the concerned stakeholders so that we can bring up something that is crucial.
Yes. Because
all in all, the stick stabs with us. It does not stab, because just imagine the DEO may not be a resident of Bugiri. But our pupils attend schools of Bugiri. So I rest my case. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Now, at this particular moment, I would like to wind up this particular segment on education. But I want to have the Inspector of Schools come and address some of these issues that have been pointed out. We have had a number of issues ranging from poverty, sexual health, mental health, sanitation, facilities, overcrowded classrooms, parent-teacher ratio, long distances, parental involvement, language barrier, early marriages, child labor, school dropouts, absenteeism, and then inclusivity. What are we doing to include persons with disabilities in the education sector? You're going to wind up in only 3 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to appreciate the responses that have come across. Madam Speaker, I would like to put this clear. I'm a resident of this district, and I'm a born of this district. So when I'm serving my people, I serve my own. I want to put that clear. Madam Speaker, they raised issues to do with, one was poverty. Poverty, hunger, in schools.
Yeah.
You realize that as stakeholders, we have tried to engage the parents. We have sensitized parents as a department at school level to make sure that parents play their roles in making sure that they feed their children in schools. However, we have challenges to do with feeding, just as the previous speakers have said, that we have challenges to do with the support from the parents. But as government, we are trying to see that we continue sensitizing and engaging the parents to play their roles in making sure that they feed their learners. Then we also had the issues to do with menstrual hygiene. As government, we have gone ahead to improve hygiene and sanitation in schools.
Yeah.
Though we are operating under a limited budget. You realize that, for example, in a financial year, we may have like around 430 million shillings. But realize that out of that, we have a number of schools that are needy. So we have tried to make sure that we construct latrines, we construct washrooms in schools, but nonetheless, we still have a challenge because of the big number of schools that are supposed to receive a service. But as government, we want to thank government that government has tried to do something to make sure that we improve menstrual hygiene. We have gone ahead we have partners on board. We have the World Vision, we have JMAC, we have Mukobad, we have different organizations that are helping us to make sure that we improve hygiene and sanitation in schools. They are training learners to make reusable pads. They are helping learners in supporting with pads. We have Heroes on program that make sure that they are helping us in making sure that they complement our work as government. We have issues to do with overcrowded classrooms. I want to agree with the honorable colleagues. Our classes are congested, but as government we have tried to make sure that each year we construct a number of maybe six classrooms in a financial year. For example, when you look at what we have this financial year, we have had construction in 3 schools, whereby we have constructed 2 classroom blocks in those 3 schools. Why? Because we have, as I said earlier, Madam Speaker, that we are limited with resources. We would like to be everywhere at the same time, but we cannot be everywhere at the same time. I would like to respond on the issue of shortage of teaching staff. Madam Speaker, we have a challenge here. We only pray to government to open the staff ceiling so that we can be able to recruit more teachers. We have a gap of 605 teachers that are required in our district. But we are requesting that government opens the staff ceiling, and so that we can be able to have an additional wage to make sure that we can be able to recruit more teachers. The issue of long distance, learners travel long distances to schools. I would like to thank government that as government we have a policy that we are following of having a primary school per parish and a secondary school per sub-county and a tertiary institute per constituency. We would like to thank government that as we speak now, we have in each parish we have a primary school. We have a secondary school in sub-counties, and more are coming on board to make sure that, because of recent we had creation of new administrative units that we are put on board. We are praying that we are continuing making the submissions to make sure that we can have secondary schools in those sub-counties. Madam Speaker, on the issue of parental involvement, I would like to thank the head teachers who are here. They have aired it out. They are trying to engage the parents to make sure that they play their responsibilities in schools. We always have meetings, PTA meetings, where we engage parents on their responsibilities. So we are trying to do that to make sure that we've always had support from the political wing to see that they also sensitize the parents on their roles and responsibilities in schools. Madam Speaker, on the issue of reference books, Madam Speaker, aware that we are undergoing transformation under the new curriculum-based competence. You realize that the system is new and it's new to everybody. It's new to all of us. So as government is well aware, and government has begun sensitizing teachers, training teachers, giving capacity building to teachers to make sure that teachers are in position to adjust to the new curriculum, which is competence-based. We have a challenge with child labor. Madam Speaker, we have the structure in government. We have the community. We have the labor officer in the district who is helping us to make sure that we address issues of child labor in schools and those who have dropped out of school.
So thank you so much for those that are watching from home. We are in Bugiri District and we are discussing a number of issues. By the powers vested in me as the Speaker of this House, I adjourn it until next time.